I had just finished editing the video pieces because I had a lot of interruptions and just needed to put some pieces together to do this video, and got ready to upload it and didn't have enough memory in my cloud, and I don't know how to make it skip the cloud and go to the memory straight to my phone, because I actually have plenty of storage on my phone itself. Anyway, long story short, I deleted all of the video stuff I had just worked on for hours. So even though it's getting kind of late, I thought, well, we'll just call that a practice run and do it again. Yeah. So let's see how it goes this time. It may actually be better. We'll look at it like that. It's going to be better than what I just did and got through working on so hard. Whew. By the way, Happy New Year, everybody. I want to make sure I got that in. I forgot on the last one. Can you believe it? Today's New Year's Day. 2019. Woo! So, 2019 is here, and I'm starting off with a video, and my word for the year is finish. I am terrible about not finishing things. I start stuff, don't finish it. So that's my buzzword for this year. I'm not going to call it a resolution because I'm not good at those. So it's just my word for the year. Finish. Finish what I start. That could be my motto this year. Finish what you start. So, that being said, I have to finish this video tonight and get it uploaded, edited, and uploaded before I go to bed, because that's what I'm doing now. Finishing things. Yeah. Okay, so, to get this finished, I need to move on, right? What I want to do today, or tonight, is make clusters. And unfortunately, I had, one planned out and made it on the last video, and it turned out kind of cute. Now I have to think of another one. But that's okay, because these are fun to do, actually. That's why I wanted to share it. They're lots of fun, and it's a really good way for you to use up your little bits and pieces of stuff, like, this kind of thing, tickets, letter tiles, numbers, buttons. I'll show you some, examples of things that are fun to use. But first, let me show you clusters, in case you don't know what they are. And by the way, if I call it a snippet by mistake, just ignore me. These are our clusters, not snippets, but I keep calling them that. I just get it so confused. Can't keep it straight in my mind. I'm turning 50 this year, y'all. Whew, that's a big one. And normally I pay no attention to my birthdays. I don't even like celebrating birthdays. But, 50, that's kind of a, milestone. And I don't really worry about it, like, in the way of being vain. Like some people worry about how they look and how they're aging and all that jazz. That doesn't bother me. What bothers me is my mind and how it works. And so you'll notice sometimes I can't think of the words for things, which I know happens to everybody when you get in front of the camera. It's like we're all notorious for that, I guess. Anyway, what was my say? I've lost that train of thought. Okay, so let me show you what I'm making. I'll tell you about what got me interested in making these, and things you can use to make them. So I decided yesterday, well, let me show you why I wanted to make them. I just finished up a new journal, and I call it the Cigar Band Journal because, well, obviously it's decorated. The cover, I used, I made some painty paper about, I don't know, a year, maybe in 2 years ago. I made this painty paper and embellished it with cigar bands that I found at a antique shop, a local antique shop, and some stamping and vintage music paper, and just loved it. I love the color combination, the golds and reds and turquoise or aqua blues. So I finally, I got the book put together about 6 months ago, actually, and never got around, once I got my signatures together, I just never got around to sewing them in, or, you know, fill in the pockets and that type thing. So I'm not going to do a flip through of the book, but I just wanted to show it to you to explain why I started making the clusters. This book is really for a good one. You can do anything in it that you'd like, but it's a good one for, you know, a true journaler or somebody who is into writing a lot. I say that because there's a lot of open pages. You know, I didn't embellish heavy in here at all. You know, most of the pages are just what they are, you know, with a few things added here and there. Whoops. I got to go back and get some of the glue spots out with that little eraser thing. Anyway, but I mean, that being said, this could be used for scrapbooking, for arting, you know, and I put some waterfall pages in this one. That was kind of fun to do. There's one in the first signature and the last signature. Anyway, like I said, I had the book put together, and so being as my new, you know, word is to finish everything, found this on the up there on my shelf, and realized I was so very close to having it finished, and I was going to do that before I started anything else. So I did. I got my signatures sewn in and added some cute little buttons to the spine, and then filled up my pockets, added some tabs, you know, on the pages, like that, a whole bunch, a whole lot. And I thought I was done. That, you know, kind of did it. This journal's not a frou-frou journal. It just doesn't lend itself to frou-frou, the style. Added some tabs up there and one more back here, you know, sticking with my color scheme. And I looked at it one more time, and it occurred to me it needed one more thing, just something else, and I wasn't sure what it was. And then I got to looking at it, and I realized it was kind of plain inside, you know, for what I usually do or what I like. So it hit me. I thought, ooh, my mom has made several of these clusters before. I haven't tried them yet. So I thought, why not make one for each signature and pop them in as an embellishment. And that may just do it. Well, it did. I made 3 clusters. This one. And then I made one that's much more simple for the center signature. This book has 3 signatures, by the way. Here it is. Found these cute miniature Hallmark cards at an antique store in downtown Greenville, here in North Carolina the other day. And I could have walked out of there a happy camper with this one little purchase. I love anything miniature, but what was so great about them is I actually had a set of these when I was little, and of course it wasn't the same cards. They weren't Mickey Mouse, but they were Hallmark miniature playing cards. The box was bright yellow, and the design on those cards was a picture of gumballs. Nothing but, you know, just gumballs, little tiny ones all over. I bet I kept those cards until late middle school or early high school. I bet I had those. And of course, I wish now, you know, that I had never gotten rid of them. These just made my day. And so I may even do little packs of these and put them, little sets, in my Etsy shop. So if anybody's interested in that, let me know. Etsy. And they'd be really inexpensive. The shipping on these type things would be, I'd probably do it free shipping because it would be a stamp or two, probably in an envelope, you know, kind of thing. Lightweight stuff I could get to you really, really cheap or at a good price. So the cluster that I made with those cards was this. And isn't that cute? Just that little playing card. And see on the back, you've got your, you know, numbers. And then on the front, all I did was add the flower trim. Let me go get one and show you because it's kind of hard to see on there. So this is the flower or daisy trim that I, see, like that. And then you just clip them apart and then trim up these little pieces, the little ends there on the petals, you know. So that's fun to use and really cute. Okay, I say cute way too much. Just please forgive me. I'm trying to work on that. Everything is cute, which it is. I'm just trying to come up with other words. Okay, please don't let me stick myself with this pen. There, that's better. All right, I just wanted to show you that. I used that to embellish this cluster along with a vintage blue stamp there. I thought it turned out cute. Oh, see, there I go. Sorry. Oops, cute. Adorable. Oh, I forgot. I don't have to turn it that way. There you go. That's the right way, I think. I'm leaving them loose. I'm just putting them in with paper clips and sliding it on. But if you get the journal or do some of your own and put them in your own journals, all you have to do is put a little bit of glue along the side and the bottom and put it on your page, and then take, you know, then you've got your you know, tuck spot there in the corner. Or you could staple it on your page, you know, however you want to do it. So that was the second one. And then the third one in the last signature looks like this. On that page, there we go. This one has more layers and is a little more complex than the first two. I used a great big fat paper clip for that one. Here we go. These are cool. The main elements in this cluster are the white price tag, then the red burlap, and then the little card with the person here. This is a set of cards that I got from, I purchased from somebody on Etsy, and I'm so sorry I can't remember who it was from. Did I say from the UK? Yeah. Well, they are costume cards, and on the back it gives you information about that time period, that era, and the clothes that they wore. So that's kind of cool. Didn't realize that until just a little while ago. I wish I'd read that before I put it together, but anyway. So what I did with this one was I started with the main three pieces first. The white tag, the red burlap, and the card, the clothing card. Got those together, and I like the reds, you know. And then I thought, well, I'll play on that sash on this guy's outfit. You know, it's a gold and orangey type color. And so the next piece I put in was the orange ticket. And I really liked that, how that looked. And it still needed something else. So I found this, this was a letter tile. And I didn't realize they had these little pictures on the back. Here's one I can do for you. So this is what it is. It's just a chipboard tile. And this one happens to have this picture of this little, looks like a, oh, he's a musician. And on the other side, you flip it over, and there is a letter for you to use. Well, what I do is I peel them apart, like in the middle. You just put your fingernails in, and if you don't have nails, you just use, I don't know, your pokey tool or a palette knife thing and wedge it, you know, kind of work it in there and just work around the perimeter of your shape and gently peel the two. Yeah, this one's going to be difficult because got the camera going. Work around the perimeter and gently peel them apart, and then you have two pieces to use instead of just the one. And so that's what I did. I peeled that little guy off and laid it on there and decided I liked that. And it still needed something. I threw down the yellow cigar band that, you know, matches the outside of the book and was like, bingo, that's it, I like it. And as soon as I decide I like a composition, I try very hard to make myself go ahead and put it together and seal the deal, I like to say, because I am notorious for changing my mind and overthinking things. And what happens when I do that is I end up creating nothing. And that's not my goal, obviously. My goal is to create and have fun. And anyway, I've just found it works better for me if I, you know, hit something I like, go ahead and commit to it and put it together and it's done. So that's what I ended up with for the third one in the journal. And, oh, by the way, so another point I wanted to make is, like with this one, I just simply stapled these together and then I glued this little chipboard piece on, you know, once I had these secure, these parts. I thought, let's see up close if you can see, there's the first staple that I put in, and thought I had everything connected, and then realized that this red burlap was not really very secure, so I put another one up higher right here. And I like the simplicity of staples. You know, if you don't have a stapler or you don't like the way it looks, you know, you do end up with this on the back, the, you know, back of the staples. If you don't like that or don't have a stapler, you certainly can glue them together. You can use your double-sided tape to put them together, you know, however you choose to do it. I just like the simplicity of the staples, the fact that they're super cheap to use, and so I can save my double-sided tape, which tends to be a little more expensive. And of course, wet glue is messy. Glue stick may work, you know, for most paper things, obviously. I don't know how well it would work when you have some texture or bulk added in like this, like the burlap, but you could certainly try it. I'm sure if you gooped enough on there, it would probably work okay. And it would depend, too, on what, you know, your end use is, you know, for this type of thing. This is where the making some clusters came from, the idea of doing that and making a video. I know I've seen people making them, but not as much as some other videos. Everybody does such good stuff out there. So I hadn't seen many videos lately, and it may just be me that hasn't noticed them, you know. That is very possible. And so I hadn't seen many cluster videos, and so I thought that's a good idea. I'll just, while I'm working on them, turn the camera on and make some. So here are my clusters that I made. The first one I made, I think I started these last night while I was watching, you know, New Year's Eve YouTube crafters going on. That was fun. Yeah, I watched the people that were set up by the musical scrapper, Jean, I think. And so I think I caught some of, well, Dee Dee Willingham, and I caught, oh, this girl, she was so great. Her name was Lena. I can't remember exactly. But she's the lady from, where did they say she was from? Denmark? She was so funny. And she has this guy named Roy, this doll, and she had him, he's a blow-up doll, I think. But she danced all around him, and he had a top hat, and she had horns that blew confetti out of them, and had crazy music going. She was a lot of fun. Anyway, that was cool. And then I also was watching Selena from Amore Fabrics and Diane from, is it Shawcraft One, I think? Y'all know Diane, I'm sure you do. Whenever I say Shawcraft. And I think her Etsy shop is called something about a barn. Oh, I need to learn this stuff. Anyway, yeah, so it was great. And watching them, they all had crafting activities they were sharing with everybody. That was cool. And so anyway, I was watching different ones and working instead of videoing is the whole point to that spiel. So, since I'm trying to finish things, let me hush about such stuff and get back to what we're doing here. We're talking about making these. This is one I made last night. I can't get it tilted right. There we go. Okay, it says create. And this is a simple one. And I started the base of this, so I'll show you the back, is a little card. And this is what the pack looked like. I'm sure I got these from Hobby Lobby because it's by the Paper Studio. Whoops. And they're just shape die cuts. And it's called Ornate Shape. And, you know, I picked them up because they were on clearance or on sale. I always get this kind of thing when it's on special or at a special price. I rarely pay full price for anything, especially stuff like this, because, you know, they have sales like every week and rotate the items around and the brands. So I try real hard not to pay full price for anything unless it's something I've just got to have like right then to get a project done, which is a rare thing. So I took one of these, and here's one. In fact, probably tonight when we make one, I'll start with this very thing. And then I added to that a circle of fabric. Then I layered a ribbon. Then I layered a piece of seersucker fabric that I had ripped apart and ripped it into a triangle, a rectangle shape, and then used one of the Tim Holtz Ideology flashcards and found a word I liked, which was create, and popped that on, held it all together, you know, like this, stapled it, boom. Well, first I decided to put this little embellishment, and then boom, stapled, and that's it. No glue. Oh, that's a lie. I just flipped it over and saw there's another staple in the back. Oh, there's also gauze under here, or cheesecloth. Here, I'll open that up so you can see. Right there is the cheesecloth. It kind of worked itself down when I was trying to get it stapled, and so you can't really see it very good. But oh, I wanted to show you about these. This little bow is from a Heidi Swap pack, and somebody else, I've of course learned this, I think was Crafting Vicky, mentioned one day about these stickers you get from, you know, different brands have them, and they're like 3D stickers. And what it is, or pop-up stickers, they have the, let me take one off here. I'll take off this blue one. You know, there's a space in between the layers, and they've made it the space with the foam tape. So what you do is you peel these apart, just carefully pull it apart, and you end up with two for the price of one, because it's the same thing underneath most of the time. Now sometimes, you know, you'll pull that off and this will be white, or, you know, it won't be the same pattern, but these are the same except for the glitter. And all you have to do then, if you want another one that looks just like that, is put some glue here and sprinkle some glitter on, and you're good to go for the price of one of them. Yeah, so in fact, let's not put that together. Let's put them separate. I might use that one as we make one on this. Just a little tip there from Vicky that I picked up. It's the first time I did that. So yeah, I peeled this off of one of the pink ones on that Heidi Swap set, and now I have 2 pink bows. And anyway, stapled that on there and love it. Oh, sorry, I keep forgetting. I don't have to turn it that way. Oh dear, it's getting late. So that was the first one, and then I think I went on to bed. No, I didn't. That's the story too. I actually ended up staying up till 4:30 because I was designated driver last night. I had some people to go pick up. So after I picked them up and got them where they needed to go, I was wide awake, of course, and ended up staying up, y'all, till 4 o'clock this morning. I went to bed at 4, and it was probably 4:30 before I went to sleep, but I was just wound up. I was excited about these clusters. Oh, me. Okay, the next one that I made, okay, let's put you over there, was this. And I really like this one. In fact, this one may be my favorite. My lighting is really bad, y'all. I'm sorry, and I'll work on that. I'll try to get another lamp, or maybe 2, one on each side extra to add. I've got some small ones I can do. Anyway, I really like this one. This one also has a base that is this card right here. Yep. So I started with that, and if I remember right, this one I had already pulled out some papers. You know, just different. I pulled out some of my 6x6 pads that rarely get used, and I thought, wow, you know, this is a great resource of instead of tearing up some of my big 12x12 sheets, these are perfect. You can see where I tore up the blue, you know, here. And, you know, these are perfect. I just pulled some colors that just called to me at the moment. I found, like, this piece of paper. This was from a journal, some envelopes I made for a Better Homes and Gardens binder journal. You know, little things like that. Just save it and set it aside in a container. And then when you're ready to make some of these clusters, you've got stuff ready to go. So I had this one already kind of, this design or set up in my head, which is unusual for me. Usually I have to just pull stuff out like this, you know, a big pile of stuff, and just literally start from the ground up working and layering stuff on auditioning pieces. But this one I kind of knew what I wanted. So I started with my square at this on the back, layered this piece of text that you see behind it. I put that on next, and then I think all I had was the blue piece and the flower. And of course that needed some color, it needed something. And so I like the idea of the yellow, red, and blue. Obviously I have to explain that. And so I popped a red ticket in here and really liked that. But then I decided to put some cheesecloth that my mom tea or coffee stained a while back. But here it is. You know, she just gave me a bunch of that, and so I pulled that piece out and had it sitting there, and snipped some off and stuck it in behind the ticket, and liked what I saw, and so I went ahead and stapled it all together minus the flower. So it was, you know, the base, the text, the blue paper, and the ticket, and the cheesecloth. Put one staple in, and it had everything secure and together. Then I put the flower on with the glue, and then decided just to put a letter tile in the center of the flower. You know, I could have layered up more things on the flower. I have these little tiny, teeny tiny doilies. You know, I could have put another layer of that, and then something smaller in the center of that. Then I made, I think this one was next. This is a very simple one. It is very simply a card, piece of burlap, piece of fabric, a flower, and a stamp, essentially. There is some cheesecloth back there, but, you know, you barely notice it. It's just a little added detail. But I really like that one. I love the colors, and it is held together by one staple. There is no glue, nothing on that. Now, how easy is that, y'all? Yep, that was fun. And then this afternoon. I made this one, which is a little more complicated, a little more complex. And I don't know how I feel about it, actually, looking at it. Anyway, I'll find somewhere to put it. I may use it in one of my own journals. It's a little busy. I started with a Rolodex card, and I inked around the edges with brown ink. Archival. I like archival or stays on. You've got your Rolodex card, your tissue paper. This is tissue paper, you know, from sewing patterns. Sewing pattern tissue, you know, like this. And what else? Oh, these price tags. I love these. Those are really fun to use. So if you have some of those, you can use those in a cluster. So we have Rolodex card tissue, the price tag, and then some text, then a piece of ribbon, and then then you have the Girl Scout badge embellishment. I've been collecting Girl Scout badges to use as embellishments. And I haven't used them a lot yet, and I've collected quite a few, so you'll start seeing those in some of my stuff. They're fun to use. They're bright and colorful, and have some really cute designs on them. I'm trying to collect ones from the 70s because that's when I was a Girl Scout. And I did put the badge on with glue, yeah, which covers up one of the staples on the front, so... And this one is kind of off balance in a way, but see, this is wider up here. You know, the area of the cluster is bigger up here and narrow at the bottom. But to me, it's balanced in the fact that this is thicker down here. There's more layers down at the bottom than there are up here. Up here, you only have the Rolodex card and the tissue and, say, the top of the white tag. That's what you really see on the top. But it's wide, and that kind of evens out with the thickness and the amount of embellishments near the bottom of the cluster. I don't know if that makes sense to you. It makes sense in my head, because I like things balanced, but in an offset kind of way. You know, that probably sounds crazy. I'm not crazy, y'all. But that's just kind of how my mind thinks. So, I don't have a project in mind for those. I just want them so when I need something to decorate a journal or something, I'll have it handy and don't have to stop and pull all this stuff out and, you know, try to rush through making some. I can sit here and, you know, in my free time and make several, you know, and have a stash of them already done and ready to pull from. So on the video earlier that I erased, we made this cluster. So you didn't know it, but we did. We made this. And I thought it turned out cute. It's different from the other ones. They're each one unique. That's what's kind of fun about it. You take all these little elements and put them together and come up with something totally unique that you won't see anywhere else, you know. And, okay, I talked about color combinations in the other video. This may not appeal to some people, especially with the pink, you know, that I threw in there. For some reason, I like it. So, and to me, that's kind of what's important. I want to like what I'm doing. You should do the same. You know, don't worry about what other people are going to think about it. I'm sure there, you know, anything we make, there's going to be somebody out there that probably doesn't like it. You know, there will be people that like everything you make. It doesn't matter though. If you are having fun doing the activity, the craft, that's all that matters, is that it's fun and you're enjoying it and that you like it. I like this, so, you know. But I've just gotten into this thing lately where I love pink with oranges and reds. My mom thinks I've lost my mind, but that's okay. I know she's just giving me a hard time, but anyway, I find something appealing about it. I don't know. What this is simply a card like this. See, if I was a good YouTuber, I would have it out and ready. But I'm not a good YouTuber. Okay, let's just pretend, and I'll find it after I get started. You watch. Let's pretend that it's this card. Let's say it's this one. So I took a base card and I simply added a strip of material to it. Look, right here. Here's one strip of material, which is too wide for this because it covers up the whole thing. But that's essentially what I did. And then I took the paper flowers, got those arranged on here the way I liked them. I didn't like them in the middle, so I just sort of slid it over to the side. Sorry, slide this way. I think I've been showing it to you upside down again on the camera, y'all. I'll get it together. This is how I want it to go, like that, yeah. And then I just, you know, popped in the orange ticket, liked how that looked, and then felt like it still needed something. So I added this little extra piece of book text that I tore off of this one, actually. This was a little long on this part, so I still happen to have that piece on my desk, and I just stuck it in there, decided I liked it. And like I said, when I decide that I like it and I'm set with how it's looking, I seal the deal and get it put together. And so I used staples and then glued the pink button on. So what I want to do is pull a couple of things out of my stuff here, my stash, and then we'll make one or two clusters together and see what we come up with. While I was looking for things to make one of the clusters out of, I actually had an idea, and I so wish my ideas would come while the camera's rolling, but you know, I guess it doesn't matter when it appears, comes to my brain, but that it does at all is a good thing. So I found these little, I had 2 packs of these little red numbers that I got from somebody on Etsy or eBay, and an idea popped in my head, so I just wanted to show you what they look like and get these extras out of the way. Can anybody guess what my idea was, being as today is New Year's Day 2019 has arrived? We're gonna make a New Year's Day cluster. Whoops, and I lost a number. I'll get it later. Okay, so here's my idea. I already had, I had already pulled out this blue Rolodex card, and then I pulled out some music, vintage music paper, and some scrapbooking paper. Pulled out this grid paper. That I just want to tear off these straight edges, yeah. And when I was putting away some of my Christmas supplies today, I had some leftover confetti vellum paper, and I'm going to layer them onto this Rolodex card, something like this. I just had them sitting over to the side over here, and I put them down and looked over at the little baggie of red numbers and went, oh, I have an idea. So what we're going to do is essentially layer those up in some fashion and do 2019. Woohoo! We have an idea. I love it when I get an idea, especially a creative one. Yeah, isn't that cute? I'm excited. Now, I'm trying to decide if I want to ink around the pieces of paper or just leave them. I'm kind of feeling the ink, actually, and I think I'm going to go with the brown again. I thought about black, but I just like the softer look of the brown. So let's go with that. That's what's calling my name at the moment. It's the brown. So that's what we're going to use. And the hardest part on these Rolodex cards, which you may not even see, but I like to get it done, is the center, these little notches. That's one thing I love about these inking tools blending tools. Okay, let's just ink around. Does not have to be perfect. In fact, probably the less perfect it is, the better. I love inking around music paper. I don't know why. I guess because it's vintage, and so it has a pretty color to it anyway. And this just adds that little something that it needs. Makes it look pretty. I know why I'm so tired now is because I didn't take a nap today, and I had planned on taking a nap. I love to take naps middle of the day. But especially when you didn't go to bed until 4 o'clock or 4:30, and then I got up at, well, you know, when you stop and think about it, I didn't get out of the bed until 11 or 11:30, so I had 7 or 7.5 hours of sleep anyway. Yeah, it's nice having older kids, I have to say. I loved my babies when they were babies, but, whew. Of course, having older kids, I've got one in, they're both juniors. One's in college, one's in high school. So that's interesting. They'll both be graduating in December of next year. Oh, excuse me, this year. Yeah, so I'm sure they're excited about, oh, wait, sorry, see, running my mouth. I need to ink this up. I feel like usually if you've inked up one element, you need to go ahead and ink up everything. I forget sometimes, though, and don't get them all. I know on one of the ones I just showed you, there were some elements inked, and I think I left 1 or 2 out. Anyway, generally speaking, if I ink one thing, I ink it all. But let's see about the kids. Yeah, I've got 2 girls. Even though they're a little easier as far as a daily, you know, on a daily basis that goes, they, you know, obviously are old enough to take care of themselves at this point. They come with their other issues. Woo, some doozies, let me tell you. They're good though. I have to say, Paul and I are blessed with good kids, and yeah, there's a lot to be said for that. Because it can get complicated even with good kids, really. Okay, that's done. I'm not going to ink the vellum, just, well, maybe just a tad, just on the very edge. I'm not really smearing it on the surface of the paper at all. Yeah. And I might smear some of it, and if I do, that's okay. I don't care. I'm leaving the numbers. Or should I ink around the edges? Let me see what the edges look like. If they have brown, yeah, they're brown around, like chipboard around the edges. Let's see. And of course, if my light was better, I might be able to tell better too. Yeah, I'll ink around them a little bit. Might take these a second to dry because they have a shiny coating on there. Well, I don't have brown in the stays on. If I had brown stays on, I would be using that because that would dry. I know it wouldn't smudge off. That's what stays on is for, actually. Yeah, I like that. You can see it on there. That's pretty. Red and brown together. It's barely there, but I can tell it's there. Gives it a finished look. Okay, I like that. Just a little bit of shadowing, really. That's cool. Yeah. This is an activity where I need to be able to see better myself. I would turn my overhead light on, and I'm weird. I have sensitivity to lights, like a certain lighting. When I go in a room, God, I'm so weird. I want the lights turned on, like certain lights. Like, in other words, what I'm trying to say is I hate overhead lighting. I rarely ever, even though we have overhead lights in every room, I rarely ever turn them on. I don't like the light that it broadcasts in the room. I just don't, I feel kind of uncomfortable. Isn't that weird? I know it is. I'll admit it. I own it. I think there is a thing out there, though, called light sensitivity, or I don't know. It may just be called weirdo. That would be me. Yeah, I like lamps. Most of my lighting in my house is with lamps. It just gives a softer glow. Yeah, overhead lighting is very harsh, and I don't like it. Of course, at this point, I can't see what I'm doing. Hello. Most people would be smart and get up and turn on the overhead light whether you like it or not. Yeah. I like to live on the edge like that and stick with my lamps. Oh well. I'm sure there's somebody else out there like that. Not just me. Oh, but you know, even if there's not, just celebrating my individuality, maybe. There we go. I think I got that enough. Now I'll do the outside. Oh yeah, I like that a lot. You're probably saying, yeah, you like what a lot? I can't see it. Oh Lord, I have indented that with my fingernail. Oh, bummer. Okay. So, hope everybody had a nice Christmas. Happy holidays, whatever you celebrate. Or don't celebrate. Some people don't celebrate, I realize. Well, I realized the other day, one of my friends from the UK, you know, there's so many people that do celebrate Christmas and you forget that not everybody does. And I was kind of like, ooh, sorry. I wished her, you know, Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. And she very politely informed me she does not celebrate Christmas. And I was like, oh, very sorry. I hope I didn't offend her. That's the last thing I want to do is offend anybody, honestly. She was very kind about it. We'll let these dry for just a bit, and while they're drying, we will look at how we're going to put this together. Well, obviously, we're going to go from largest to smallest. And I'll put this probably in the center of the card, like that. And then I'll use my yellow. And let's turn that way. Don't know. Just a feeling I get. Like, got ready to say that again. Like that. What I'm trying to do here, when you see me fiddling around with this, I'm trying to get the lines of the music, I forget what you call that, but I'm trying to get the lines straight with the outside edge of the card, because obviously I didn't tear it straight, but I want those lines lined up with the card. Let me share something with you. Woo! Christmas present! Actually, it's a Christmas present to myself. I got this months before Christmas. There was just a good deal on Amazon, and I've been wanting one, and I've been dying, you know, watching people use them on their videos. And I love double-sided tape. In fact, I normally use score tape. And I thoroughly enjoy it. It is a really good quality tape. It's very strong. Well, this was a really good deal. It was less than $20. You got the gun and 2 rolls of the tape. I thought that was pretty good, you know, without a coupon or anything. So I went ahead and ordered it like back in, I don't know, September maybe, and it's been sitting in my closet. I was a good girl. This is super fun to use. I love watching people use them on their videos, so now I can use it on mine. They work really well, and I love the sound that it makes, and just how easy it is to use. I mean, you just push that button and glide it along, and boom, sticky. Tape goes down. It's excellent. No little pieces of paper to slide or to throw away and flying all over the place. And then you put it over here and you're done. See, it's perfect. I slapped some tape on there, and I'm going to go ahead and anchor this on because I don't want to keep fiddling around with the, excuse my head, with the lines sliding back and forth. So, boom. got that done. Look, we got that anchored down, so we don't have to fiddle with that anymore. We can just play with the rest of the pieces. Okay, now I want this in about this area. And this white piece, see, I'm not sure if I want it to go this direction or this direction. And I think we're gonna go with that. And then we'll take the confetti vellum and pop that on. I want that to stick out on this side just a tad. Okay, that's my basic cluster right there. I have a little piece of the cheesecloth. Oh my goodness, let me see if I can find it. Okay, let's see what this would just look like. This is a little piece of fabric. It's called seersucker. You know, it's kind of puckered along the stripes. So let's see what this looks like to embellish it. Just add a little, see, like, I like that. Just that little piece of fabric sticking out there. Just adds a little something to it. And what we're going to do is, let me share this with you so you can kind of be thinking ahead with me, is we're going to be adding the year 2019 on top, you know, after we get the base with the papers and the fabric and stuff done. Or, since we're adding red letter numbers, I mean, what about some red fabric with little gold stars? Okay, that would work, except I've just realized and thought about the fact that the numbers are red. So see, that wouldn't show up, that number 2, as well as I want it to. So I can't use the red. I don't want to use the red. I like that little bit of blue sticking out there. In fact, I might want a bigger piece. Yeah, let's try this. Oh, yeah. Like that. See? I just like that. I don't know why. We actually have the air conditioning on, y'all. It's been so warm here. I mean, it's been in the 70s. Oh, terrible. I want it really cold. I love the winter. Anyway, go back to this. So I think I like this general setup. Now, this is going to take 2 staples because of the width. I mean, just, it is. Okay, so we're going to staple. Let me get this. I want that even with the bottom. This right here, I want to make sure that that's an even width of blue sticking out, or fairly even. I mean, there are no cluster police out there that are going to come get us if we don't have everything just so. Yeah, I do it to myself. I'm trying to work really hard on not being such a perfectionist about things. We'll glue these on with some Fabri-Tac or the Aleene's tacky glue. Oh, I think this is cute. And I want them kind of wonky like that. I think that's really cute. Okay, so let's take our Aleene's glue. And like, if this bothers you, this sticking up, you can, you know, tack it down with a little bit of glue if you'd like, you know, to keep it, or put some double-sided tape back there just to hold that down. I like it the way it is. Let's see, does everything need glue? Yeah, on the back. Okay. I'm just going to use a bit. I don't want it squishing out everywhere. And if it's not enough, I can go back and add some more. But I think that'll do it. Put that on that side. I just want it to touch the fabric. There you go. Stick that one on. Do our 0. But yeah, I'm ready for winter to show up, guys. And my kids, I keep my kids and my husband freezing to death because, you know, 50. I think I'm actually almost through with the change, believe it or not. Either that or it's going to go on for many, many more years and I'll just live in this life of, oh my God, hot flashes and you know what? is kind of rough. Mood swings. Whoa. Talking about some major mood swings. Wow. But they're actually, improving a bit. So that's why I feel like in my hot flashes, when I have them, they're bad, but they're getting to be farther, in between occurrences. So that's good. I'll put the 1 up there. And then the 9. Well, this turned out nice, I think. Okay. Get that all glued up. And then we'll just let it sit and dry. Yeah, trying to get it turned around. Oh yeah, I like that very much. So there is our cluster that we made. So you guys need to give this a try. Use up all of your little bits and pieces. It's a great way. See, look at the glue smushing out. I hate that. Even though it dries clear, I know. It just bothers me. Okay, anyway, leave that alone. There it is, 2019. Yay! Let me show you some things that I have that I'm going to put in my, I'm calling it a kit. It's, just my little supply box that I'll be using to make these things. In fact, I'll grab it really quick. Let's show you. I got these at Michael's the last time my mom and I went, right before Christmas. These large storage containers. It fits, it's called a scrapbook case because it fits, it's big enough to hold the 12 by 12 papers very easily, and they just open up like that. And what I'm going to do is literally, in fact, we'll start right now. Instead of putting all of these things back where they came from, I'm going to take them, like all of my little different papers, and just pop them in here. My scrap material, I'm dropping that in. Literally. Doilies, oh, those are great, for these clusters, doilies. There's more material. I'm taking, like, I have these cards, these Chinese character cards. It shows you how to draw the character. It has a number guide. And then on the back it gives you a pronunciation, I think, and a definition of what it means in our language. Anyway, I have a box full of those, which I may put some of these in my Etsy shop. By the way, if anybody's interested, let me know, because gosh, it's a box of like 300 or more cards. I will never use all of them in my lifetime, I don't think. So I was considering putting sets of, say, 6 to 12, or 6 or 12 maybe, could be options, in my Etsy shop. And so if anybody's interested in some ephemera like this, there, this, and what else was it I was telling you about? Oh, I think these little cards, the little Mickey Mouse, whoops, upside down again, Hallmark cards. If you'd like to purchase some, I would be glad to set up some little kits and put them in my Etsy, because they'd be really, in fact, I'd probably do free shipping, because the shipping, would be possibly just a stamp or a couple of stamps in an envelope. Things like the Rolodex cards, I'm going to drop those in. This is a vintage pack of old playing cards that just have a real pretty color. I have a lot of playing cards, so I'm just going to take this whole set, because they're a generic background. I'm going to drop these in here because they would make a good base, like the Rolodex, cards do. There's another piece of fabric. I'm going to take this piece of cheesecloth that my mom did and put that in. These little bow stickers, I have never used them for anything else, so I'm going to put them in my kit I'm making. And see, when I go to make some clusters. I'll have all these things. Do you know how long it took me today to pull this stuff together? Quite a while, actually. I spent an hour or more, you know, I mean back and forth, not 1 hour straight, obviously, but, you know, trying to pull some things and come up with ideas of things I might like to use in my, in making the clusters. I've got this little baggie of little confetti, like little flowers and ladybugs and butterflies that I got in a Happy Mail, I'm pretty sure. Oh, I think it was a card. Yes, it was a card. Now, who sent me that card? It was beautiful. And these were all loose in there. It was somebody from Dawn's group, Let's Make a Mess. Oh man, I can't remember her name, but they all fell out. It was so much fun. Anyway, I picked every one of them up and put them in this baggie. And these would be great to embellish some, you know, clusters. Like, how cute would it be to take like a little ladybug and put her up in the corner or here on the flower? That would be super cute. These little cards I had for the background that I used already, 2 of these to make clusters. I've had these for a year and have not used one for anything else. So I'm going to pop these in here because they're very good as a base. Okay, now all this little stuff. Little vintage pricing tags, letter tiles. There's the one of those tiles I peeled apart, the little guy. I probably will throw some stamps in here. And one day, when I have some free time, I'll take this stuff and get it organized. I know I should probably do it right now. But we've got to move on and finish, because that is my word for the year, is finish, to get things started and done in a timely manner. It's going to be a huge challenge, y'all. Oh, these little cute little cards, the costume, oops, upside down, sorry. The costume cards, I'm going to put those in here. And I'll know, like, say I want them for something else. I'll be like, oh yeah, I put those in my cluster box. My box of cluster supplies. You know, here's some Tim Holtz tissue paper. Put that scrap in there. As well as my Tim Holtz Ideology flashcards. I'll know they're in here if I want them. Tickets, little tiny word cards. Playing cards, small ones. Oh, you know, if you have vintage wallpaper or wrapping paper pieces, you know, pop those in there. And it doesn't have to be vintage stuff, you know. If you're wrapping gifts, birthday gifts, Christmas gifts, whatever gifts, take your, you know, scraps you cut off and pop those in. Little tiny flashcards, pricing cards, little advertisements. That's old. Oh, here's an old ticket. I say old. It's from 1974. I think it was from the horse race. Chicago Downs. Yeah, that's cool. Playing cards of all different kinds. See, now I have supplies. I've got enough stuff right here. In fact, I am going to go ahead and just throw these buttons in here too, because then I have some to work with for the next time. And what I'll do maybe one day is take some little containers and put like all the buttons and the chipboard pieces in, maybe. And take the stamps and the little tiny labels and tickets and put them in a sealed baggie or something, you know. If this mixed up stuff gets to be a problem or bothers me too much. Otherwise, I'm going to leave it as it is. I'll put a package of these numbers in here to use. I found this little package of trims and ribbon. Remnants I got from something, and I'm going to pop those in. An old, from the 70s, a dictionary page. I'm putting a map in there. I think maps would be good. Paper to use. Here's some more music paper. Here is more scrap paper. I'm just chucking that in there. And a couple of pieces of fabric that I pulled from. Popping those in. Scrap paper. There's a piece of that vellum confetti. See the metallic squares? It's so pretty. Okay. Oh, here's something. I'm going to put these in here. I think they'd be cute glued on as elements, embellishments, whatever you want to call it. There's some, you know, little circle thing I popped out from some paper I painted, or cardstock. These cigar labels I'm putting in. I wanted to cut some of this off tulle. I'm going to cut a piece of this red tulle and just leave it in the box. And so that way I don't have to go pull this out, you know, again. I have that on hand. And I think I have some white. And like I say, the next time I pull it out to use it for something, I'll probably cut a chunk off and put it in this container. Oh, if your ribbons, especially if you've got ribbon or fabric or some kind of trim on a big roller like this, take a toilet paper tube and, you know, slice it down, or take a paper towel tube and cut it into like 3-4 sections, and you can use them to hold your end on your, you know, so it doesn't unroll and get in the way. Just a little tip I learned from somebody else somewhere down the line. Anyway, there are a zillion things you could put in here. Oh, let's see, I'll do it right now. We'll cut a length of these, this flower trim that I got from China. I think I got it off of eBay for next to nothing. It took a million years for it to get here. But look at what I got. All of that. These, this flower trim. Use it on all kinds of stuff, and it costs, I don't know, next to nothing. Check that kind of stuff out if you're looking for little bits and bobs for embellishing things. Okay, so phew, we started, we finished. Yay! Go 2019. All right, thank you for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.